Hello, legendary leaders, and welcome back to another enlightening episode of Legendary Leadership Bites. I'm your host, Fatah Khan, and today we are going to cover something which is very crucial for any corporate professional, and especially for mid-career professionals. This is one of the challenge I've seen and which many people ignore and then later they struggle. What is the topic? This is a very crucial topic, which is five mistakes that can hinder your career growth. If you are aware of these mistakes and if you can avoid these mistakes in your career, it will help you big time in your career. Of course, I have done some of these mistakes and I actually learned from my mistakes and I was able to grow by learning from my mistakes and from my experience, and that has helped me. Right? We all do mistakes, but it's always good. And as they say, the smartest people are the one who actually learn from others' mistakes, right? So, what are these mistakes and how can you avoid these mistakes? Especially in the mid careers, when we enter, we actually get into a stage where our career starts getting stagnant and we get starting to see challenges where we have challenges of at times losing our jobs, challenges of not getting growth, challenges of stagnation, and all of these challenges. So, what are the five mistakes that can hinder your career growth? Number one is resisting change. Now, we all know that change is the only thing that is permanent. In the dynamic world, everything is changing, right? So, if everything is changing, you must be ready for change. Because if you are not ready for change, if you cannot actually adapt change, and if you are resisting for change, what will happen? Like as they say, right, the trees that don't bend will break, right? If based on whatever is there, how the wind is going, you should be able to adapt to the change and you should be able to be ready for the change. Because I still remember when I was working in one of the corporate worlds and I was actually leading automation teams, there was so much of resistance in so many corporate professionals, especially when it came to automation. Automation was actually doing really well there. We were working on some great IT automation that was coming up. And then people were resisting for that change. People were not ready to learn automation. People were not ready to learn new technology. And over a period of time, what do you think happened with those people who are not ready for the change? Of course, they lost their jobs, they got into challenging times, and that did not help them. So, resisting to change is one of the biggest mistakes that any corporate professional can make. And not only with those kind of professionals, I have seen with some of the veterans in the industry, I have seen like people who have been like for decades in the industry losing their job in one of the top MNCs in the world because they were not adaptable. They were not ready to learn new things and they were not actually ready for the change. They resisted change, and over a period of time, maybe like 3 to 6 months, they saw themselves to be out of the company where they started their careers. Right. So that is what happens when you do this mistake. Now, the next one is lack of networking. Now, especially in the IT world, since I've been in the IT world, I worked for the IT world for about 17 plus years. What I've seen is a lot of corporate professionals, especially the technical guys, they believe that they can do everything alone. Solo work. They are solo players, right? And they play solo and they know the technology well, they know the things well, but then they still, after certain point of time, they get stagnated, they struggle in their career, so much of stress they go through. You know why? Because they don't understand the power of team, they don't understand the power of network. Because until and unless you don't network with people, until and unless you don't know people around you, right, your network is your network. It's not just said as just for the sake of saying, but it is really important in career. Even in business, network is important, but especially in career, when you are in mid careers, what helps you the most is your network. It's not your resume that helps you. A lot of people actually think it's my resume that helps, it's my skill that helps. Yes, of course, they are helpful, but your network is very important because neglecting professional network can limit your exposure to new opportunities. Like, think of it, how many times you might have seen that you are not even aware of the opportunity within the organization and somebody has already got into that position. Why does that happen? You might be capable of it, you might have all the capabilities, you might have all the skills, but you did not grow there, you did not get that new position. You did not get the position within your organization or in your team, and somebody else from outside and got to that position. How does that happen? It happens because of networking. So avoid this top mistake of lack of networking. The third one is overlooking or ignoring soft skills. Now, let me give you some interesting fact. Harvard business study, right, and Stanford, and there are many other universities who have done research and figured out, and they have actually stated that your soft skills contribute more than 80% to your career success. Now, whether you are in IT world, non-IT world, do not just stick to your domain or technology and think that only hard skills can help. Especially again in the IT world, I've seen a lot of corporate professionals who know coding, programming, or the technology stuff. They believe this can help me, right? The technology can help me. But over a period of time, they start seeing that their growth is not happening. To a certain extent, they would have grown. But then after that, they see they are stuck. They are not able to move ahead. Why does that happen? Because they focus only on hard skills. Hard skills alone cannot help you. Think of it like you might have seen situations in your life where you have been at a specific role and somebody else would have actually got bigger roles, right? Even though they do not have the hard skills or the technical skills like you. Why does that happen? Because that person might have great interpersonal skills, that person might have great communication skills, that person might have great team management skills, all the soft skills. If that person is having better than you, then that person, even though they have the average or low technical skills, would have high opportunities to grow in the organization. So that's the third mistake you need to avoid, which is overlooking or ignoring soft skills. What is the fourth one? The fourth one is fear of taking risks. Now, a lot of corporate professionals, especially in the mid careers, as soon as they enter into the mid careers, more than 80% of the corporate professionals, they actually are in fear. They are in the fear of losing job. The higher your position, the higher the fear, right? I'm sure you would have observed it if you are in the corporate world. Why does it happen? Because the fear is because you have not worked on your courage muscle. Many a times what happens is when you don't take risk in your life, when you don't take even a smaller risk, it becomes very challenging for you to take any bigger risk in life, right? And when you stop taking risk in life, the courage muscle actually shrinks, and that does not help you. So the mistake is fear of not taking risk, fear of not taking, like the fear of taking risk which is stopping you, and you not taking risk becomes a big mistake. I still remember one of the corporate professional with amazing skills with technology, latest trends and everything. When I was talking to him, he was earning peanuts, and when I asked him why don't you switch to the next company, he said, Fada, I have the fear if that company I'm not able to perform. He's not even entered the new company. He does not even know the new role, and he's already performing well here. But why is it not jumping? Why is it not growing? It's because of the fear. And some people who take the risk get more higher salary, higher positions. Why? Because universe will always reward the risk takers, right? So that's the mistake number four you need to avoid. What is mistake number five? Mistake number five is ignoring feedback. Now, one of the things that people do is they work only on the skill set and they ignore working on the mindset. Why do I say they ignore working on the mindset? Like, how does mindset help? Think of it. If there are two mid career professionals, right? Professional A and professional B. If professional A is actually working on something and he takes feedback from his team members and others, right? Would that professional get an opportunity to grow because somebody is already giving him feedback and he or she knows where what are the areas of improvement, and the more that person works on the areas of improvement, the more opportunities for growth, right? Whereas the professional B is not taking feedback, is not ready for feedback because he does not have a growth mindset, he or she does not have a growth mindset. What happens because of that? No feedback taken, so he or she is ignorant of what is happening or whether people are liking it or not, and they don't understand really, like, whether people are accepting it, liking it or not, or whether it really works or not. And because of no feedback, they don't really understand what is happening, and because of that their growth does not happen. So these are the five top mistakes you have to avoid so that you can grow in your career. If I have to list them once again and summarize, the five mistakes that can hinder your career growth are resisting to change, lack of networking, overlooking or ignoring soft skills, fear of taking risks, and ignoring feedback. If you are able to work and if you are able to avoid these mistakes, then you can grow in your career and you can build your dream career and become a legendary leader. Thank you so much for being here once again on Legendary Leadership Bites. Until our next episode, keep leading with purpose and impact. Stay inspired, stay influential. Thank you.